It's exciting to be here today. Welcome to the ITSM keynote. Edwin and I are going to be talking about all the cool things we're doing to help your teams across the team.
Ho, ho! DevOps styles have got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! DevOps styles have got to go! No more!
I'm so sorry. I'm going to check backstage. I'll be right back.
No more!
Hey! Ho, ho! DevOps silos have got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! DevOps silos have got to go! We say no more, you say ITSM blow!
Excuse me?
No more!
ITSM blow!
No more!
ITSM
Hey, what's going on? This isn't the Service Now conference. That's next month.
Bad service management is a serious problem. Our last ITSM deployment took so long, I had to celebrate my 30th and 40th birthdays on the same project.
That's right.
I know what you mean. Bad service management is awful. Paying for features you don't use, finger pointing between dev and ops.
How do we know you're not bullshitting us?
Yeah. I think we need some more proof.
Seriously? Well, hey, take a look at this.
Here at Atlassian, we try to do our part in the fight against bad service management. BSM means delayed timelines, confused teammates, bloated budgets, and bad deployments. With Jira Service Management, our customers avoid all this terrible stuff. We actually get a lot of fan mail. BSM caused our team's budget to bloat so much that HR told me I was more valuable dead than alive.
Who's that?
Oh, that's Scott. He's our co-founder.
He's cute.
Why don't you all just stick around for the keynote? We're going to be talking about all the things we're doing to stop those BSM headaches for good. All right? You good with that?
That sounds pretty
All right.
good.
Is this the BDSM conference?
I think you're on ballroom C.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Only in Vegas. I'm so sorry about that interruption. As I was saying, Edwin and I are going to be talking about all that we're doing to help you cut through BSM to deliver great service experiences across your organizations. Ever see those late-night pharma infomercials where they reel out all the side effects at the end of the commercial? Those side effects sound a lot like what happens with bad service management, right? In fact, very often our customers tell us they suffer from bloated budgets. How often do you end up with features and modules you're never going to use, or paying armies of consultants millions of dollars year after year? Irritable teammates. A lot of the current tools and practices leave dev and ops teams disconnected. Those same disconnected tools and practices mean you've got limited insights to improve service delivery. Your teams tell you it's so incredibly hard to set up even a simple service desk with your solution. And when they finally get these service desks up and running, the experiences are so horrendous, most employees avoid them like the plague. And yes, very, very dark. As your organizations grow, your ITSM solution has to keep pace with the growth in the number of your agents, employees, and assets, as well as your security and compliance needs. If it doesn't, it quickly becomes shelfware, and you have yet another protest on your hands for yet another ITSM solution. Bloated budgets, dev IT disconnects, limited insights, complex onboarding, outdated experiences, and solutions that just don't scale. Sound familiar? We think we can remedy this with Jira Service Management. We believe it's the only solution in the market that can credibly bring development, I&O, and business teams together so you can achieve what's impossible alone, delivering great service experiences. Why do customers choose Atlassian over the alternatives? There are plenty of alternatives out there, right? You'll hear from a lot of our customers throughout this conference, but there are 3 things we hear pretty consistently. First, it delivers value fast, without the cost and complexity of traditional ITSM. It's just a lot easier to set up, use, and maintain. Second, unlike traditional ITSM, it has capabilities that bring your dev and ops teams even closer together so they can respond to incidents and changes faster. And third, it makes it super simple for any business team to deliver great support to every other team without a huge reliance on IT. As Scott mentioned, over 45,000 customers trust Jira Service Management today. And they range from the smallest to the largest, from cutting-edge biotech companies to some of the oldest manufacturers in the world. That's got an industry analyst to take notice as well. Forrester named Atlassian a leader in the enterprise service management wave, and Gartner named us a leader in their Magic Quadrant for ITSM platforms, and as the fastest growing product in their evaluation for the second year in a row. Let's dig in. Let's look at what we're doing to help you tackle these horrible symptoms of bad service management. I'll cover the first three, Edwin will cover the rest. First up, bloated budgets. But before we go there, let's hear from one of our BSM sufferers.
Our last ITSM solution was so expensive, we had to cut our travel budget. I flew here in the cargo hold of a UPS plane.
That sounds pretty bad, but she's not alone, right? According to Gartner, 8 out of 10 enterprises overspend on ITSM by 50% of their contract value. That's 50%. Let that sit for a second. It doesn't have to be that way. When we entered the service management space, we were clear we want to try to do things differently. We designed different editions of Jira Service Management, free, standard, premium, and enterprise. So you'd always find an edition with the right amount of functionality and at a price point that matches your needs. That strategy seems to be paying off. The best part of my job is hearing stories like Engie. It's a 170,000 employee company focused on low-carbon energy solutions. It traces its roots all the way back to building the Suez Canal in 1858. Engie was using ServiceNow, and they switched from ServiceNow to Jira Service Management. They cut license costs by 67%, and they freed up hundreds of hours of their team's time to work on more value-added work. In their own words, they simply switched off ServiceNow one night, turned on Atlassian the next day. It was pretty seamless. Today, they save huge amounts of time and money, and they deliver great service across IT, HR, and the rest of the enterprise. Another great example, Bombas, incredibly fast-growing apparel company. But my favorite thing about them, for every piece of clothing you buy from them, they donate a similar item to the homeless. 75 million items donated. That's 75 million acts of kindness. That's pretty special, right? Back to service management, they were using Freshworks for IT support. They switched from Freshworks to Jira Service Management so they could do more without spending a fortune. Today, their employees ask for, get help from their people team, other business teams, and they do that through Slack, email, the portal, same great experience every single time. And they've built better bridges with their engineering counterparts so they can respond to incidents and changes faster. Now, these are just 2 examples of customers that have benefited from right-sizing their investments. Forrester Consulting also did a study, and they found that on average, enterprises using Jira Service Management saw an ROI of 277%, 4.2 million in benefits in 3 years, implementations in 4 months, and payback in under 6. That's pretty impressive, right? That said, we're all going through pretty tough times. And while this whole End BSM NOW campaign is really made to make you smile, not take things too seriously, we hope the incentive program we launched along with it makes it a little easier for some of you to make that switch. If you haven't heard already, we're offering 30% off the first year of a 3-year contract through the end of June. Check out our website. It's endbsmnow.com. See if you qualify. All right, we've walked through why our customers are switching to Jira Service Management to cut through that bloat. Now let's look at what we're doing to help your dev and ops teams come together and tackle some of those DevOps disconnects. But before we go there, let's hear from another BSM sufferer.
BSM really affected the way our teams work together. At our company retreat, we tried a trust fall exercise between devs and ops. 3 people ended up in a coma.
Jokes aside, pushing changes into production can sometimes feel a little bit like David's trust fall exercise, right? Close your eyes, push off, hope for the best. It doesn't have to be that way. With Jira Service Management, we give your developers a lot more autonomy to run fast, do their very best work, while ensuring that work is aligned with IT operations so it reduces the risk to the business. Let's make this real. Let's look at a couple of examples around changes and incidents. Let's start with changes. First, Jira Service Management integrates with popular CI/CD tools that your devs love: Bitbucket, Jenkins, Circle CI, and Octopus Deploy. And now it integrates with GitHub and GitLab as well. For the Sneak fans in the audience, our CI/CD tool integrates with popular DevSecOps tools like Sneak. The code is first scanned. If there are any vulnerabilities, the pipeline is paused till fixes are made or they get added to upcoming sprints, and then the pipeline continues on. A change request is automatically created in Jira Service Management right from your CI/CD tool. And the risk is automatically assessed by the risk assessment engine in Jira Service Management. Low-risk changes are auto-approved and deployed. Medium-risk changes are made to soak first, meaning if no incidents occur in a set period of time, they get automatically pushed to production. And high-risk changes are routed to the right teams for review and approval before they get deployed. The beauty of all of this, your dev teams never have to leave their favorite tools. They get notified of progress right where they are. And your ops teams can feel a lot more confident because they now have a full record of all the code changes going through in Jira Service Management. Now, we know that in spite of all these checks and balances, incidents happen. But when they do, your dev and ops teams need the right tools to respond to and resolve them fast. How do we help them? Let's start with the developers. Pretty much everything is powered by software today, right? Software isn't just written anymore. It's made up of different components made by different teams, spread all over the world. As a developer, you've got to know, where do I find that microservice? Who owns it? How do I get help? And how do I know if this thing's compliant and secure? That's why we built Compass. What does it do? First, it's a component catalog. It helps you tame sprawl. Second, it's a DevOps health tool. It helps you monitor components so you can take action sooner. And third, it's an extensibility engine. It's powered by Forge, Atlassian's developer ecosystem platform, so your developers can customize workflows to match the way they work. Let's look at an example. Stacy's development team here owns the identity service for an online banking site. Now, she can see everything related to this service, including the associated repos, documentation, and dashboards, the health of components through scorecards and metrics, as well as the on-call schedule and who to contact if something goes wrong. Complete visibility all in one place. Uh-oh. Looks like something is going wrong. Well, let's dig in. Stacy's immediately alerted that the service isn't responding. She quickly acknowledges the alert. And because she knows this is a critical service, she's going to escalate this to a major incident. She then quickly checks to see who's on call across dev and ops to make sure the right folks are being pulled into the war room. Luckily, they can work from anywhere in the world, from any device. For example, they can spin up a Slack channel or a Zoom meeting right from within Jira Service Management so teams are aligned. And they can drill into the impacted service to see all of the service dependencies and the underlying components and see if one of those might have caused the outage. But how do you keep these dependency maps up to date? Jira Service Management has native discovery capabilities, but in addition to that, we've built deep integrations with popular discovery tools like Device42. So you get a complete map of service dependencies at all times. Incidents are high-stress situations, right? You've got to get to the root cause fast. With Atlassian Intelligence, you'll be able to see all the incidents that are similar to the one that you're currently swarming on, as well as past BIRs that might help you resolve this incident faster. The incident investigation dashboard in Jira Service Management connects to the CI/CD tools that your devs work with, Bitbucket, GitHub, and GitLab. So your ops teams can check to see, was there a recent deployment that might have caused this outage? They can drill into that deployment and see which engineering team was responsible for that deployment. and if needed, roll back that change to bring that service back online. Looks like that incident's been resolved, but we're not done yet, right? The best incident response teams learn from every incident. With Jira Service Management, you can automatically create a post-incident review that can be exported to everyone's favorite collaboration tool, Confluence. Now, this is probably one of my favorite features in Confluence Smart Links. You can now directly embed pretty much anything in your PIR, like an incident response flow or a crisis comms diagram, directly from one of your favorite design tools, Miro, Figma, or Mural. Or you can use Confluence's own whiteboarding capabilities to brainstorm new ways to improve the process. You could send ideas directly from the PIR to Jira Product Discovery and the product management team. And you can convert some of these sticky notes into Jira issues, so you can go from, oh shit, to code shipped pretty fast. We've walked through what we're doing to help your dev and ops teams come together to respond to and resolve incidents faster. So that helps you keep your critical services up and running. For many of you, those critical services run on Atlassian's cloud platform. How do we help keep those secure? As Anu mentioned, we're thrilled to be introducing Beacon. It's our new threat detection and alerting solution. How does it work? Well, let's look at another example. Here you can see Beacon has detected some suspicious activity. It quickly alerts the security team, and thanks to the integration between Beacon and Jira Service Management, an incident is automatically created in Jira Service Management, so your teams can swarm and thwart the malicious attempt. Beacon is in early access now. I'd encourage you to give it a try. All right, we've walked through what we're doing to bring your dev, ops, and SecOps teams together to respond to and resolve incidents and changes faster. Hopefully, a lot fewer irritable teammates. Let's look at what we're doing to help you tackle the next horrible symptom, blurred vision. But before we go there, yep, another BSM sufferer.
Talk about bad service management. I've got zero visibility to what anybody else is working on. It's like working in the dark. And I hate being in the dark. Guys? Hello? All right, joke's over. Turn on the light.
I feel for you, Karen. Being in the dark sucks. As I know leaders, this is probably one of the hardest problems, knowing where the opportunities for improvement lie. That's why we introduced Atlassian Analytics. How does it work? Well, let's look at a couple of examples again. As you can see on the screen, we've pulled change failure information from your ITSM tool. It looks like those numbers are going up. But should you be concerned? Maybe you had a whole lot of deployments the last few weeks. You've only got one half of the picture, right? Now, what if you could combine that information from your ITSM tool with information from dev tools, in this case, Jira Software? You can now do that with Atlassian Analytics. In this case, you can see the deployment frequency has actually been going down, even as your change failure numbers have been going up. That does not look good. You now have a much fuller picture, and you know you've got to dig in faster. Another example, you can now combine third-party data like cloud operations information in AWS with budget data in Snowflake, with service-related information sitting in your CMDB in Jira Service Management. So you get a better understanding of service costs and the overall performance. Now remember the smart links and Confluence I talked about earlier? It makes it a whole lot easier to share these dashboards with the rest of your organization. That was a lot. We talked through how we help you go from bloated budgets to healthy budgets, from dev IT disconnects and irritable teammates to hopefully happier, more productive teams, and from pro insights to richer insights with Atlassian Analytics. But we didn't stop there. We're continuing to make huge investments so it's easier for any team to deliver service, for your employees to ask for and get help fast. And yes, we've heard you loud and clear, making sure your service management solution continues to scale as your organizations grow. To talk about all these cool advancements, please join me in welcoming my good friend, Edwin.
Wow. Thanks, Amita. I'm so excited to be here with all of you today. Thank you for taking the time to join us. Now, in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to give you a whirlwind tour of all the latest innovations that we are making to help you deliver great service experiences. You just heard from Amita how Jira Service Management can help you remedy the first 3 symptoms of bad service management. I'm now going to take you through the next 3 pain points, starting with migraines, from the complexity you get in setting things up. But before I go any further, it looks like I've got a BSM sufferer who has a story to share.
Setting up our last ITSM solutions gave me such bad migraines, I started pulling my hair out by the clumps. And by next week, I'll be officially bald. Go ahead and ask me if this is real. It's not. Not at all. In fact, it was on sale.
I can totally relate to her. And no, despite this perfectly sculpted hair, I promise you it's real. But with all the headaches that I get from setting things up and configuring things myself, in the IKEA furniture versus Edwin showdown, I promise you IKEA wins every single time. These days, I just want things to work. Out of the box, right away. And I bet that most of you here feel the same way as well. And I get it, which is why I'm so proud of the fact that our solution, unlike other ITSM solutions out there, really allow you to self-serve and get your teams up and running quickly. Our philosophy, minimum setup time, maximum play time. And that's why we continue to invest in more pre-built management templates that allow even more of your teams to service your whole organization really, really quickly. And today, I'm glad to announce that we're adding 5 more templates to our catalog for finance, analytics, marketing, design, and sales teams. Now, each of these templates come with the most common request forms and workflows pre-configured. So now, a marketing team can hit the ground running and start fulfilling requests for things like content and campaigns right away. But let's face it, at some stage, you really want to tailor your service desk to the way you work. And historically, for you to do that, you've had to contact your central administrator for your service management platform to make these types of changes. Well, not anymore. I'm thrilled to share that we are now introducing a new concept called team-managed configurations that allow you to configure the service desk the way you want, for fields, forms, workflows, and many more. And all of this can be done without disrupting your other teams that are already on Jira Service Management, and better still, without having to wait for a central administrator to do the configuration work for you. That means more autonomy to your teams and less work for your administrators. Now talk about a win-win here. Now, in all the templates that I've shown so far, we've really only focused on your internal customers. But what about your external customers? I'm glad to announce that we're shipping 1 more template, and this is a personal favorite of mine, Jira Service Management for customer support. Now, this probably won't come as a surprise to many of you here. In our latest survey, we've found that nearly 1/4 of all Jira Service Management customers actually use our product for external customer support. Now, some of you may wonder, hey, why is that? Isn't that a separate part of the organization? Maybe a different system? Well, what we've found is that increasingly, organizations around the world need to think about how they support digital services at scale. These days, digital products and services aren't really just nice-to-haves anymore by the side. They've become core differentiation. And this isn't just about new-age tech companies either. I've seen firsthand many traditional brick-and-mortar companies that have had to really accelerate their journey to digitize their businesses, especially as a result of the pandemic. And in this new world of digital services, the only way that you can really deliver exceptional service, in our view, is to bring your customer support teams to your development teams and your operations teams, those teams who are building and running those services behind the scenes every day. And this is where Jira Service Management really shines. It's built on all the goodness that you've told us why you love Jira Service Management, which at the heart of it is that ability to connect teams onto the same platform. So for customer service, it means the ability to get right to the devs when you're working on a customer issue. And you also get that visibility behind the scenes to the development teams and the operation teams when you're working with a customer. For developers, it means being able to understand very quickly the customer impact that you're having on the work that you're doing. And for operations, it means being able to identify really quickly which customers are actually being impacted by the outage or the downtime that you're having. The end result of all this? Fewer silos, more visibility, and ultimately, happier customers. And we've been hard at work adding lots of capabilities to this particular template. For example, when you're working on a customer request, what you really want is to get all the information about this customer. For example, their contact details. What did they recently do? Their recent activity. And the license entitlements are now all available to you at the click of a button. You can also use this information to make better decisions, like routing the requests to the right teams in the right time zones, so you have a more timely response. And you can also set up SLAs by different customer types. So for example here, you can have a gold customer with a different SLA to your silver or your bronze accounts. And finally, you can create reports to see how all your support teams are doing based on different types of customers or different segments. Now, I've just talked about some of the advancements that we're making to help your teams set up really easily and get going supporting both internal and external customers. Now, I'm going to switch gears and start talking about another symptom that usually comes with migraines. And that, of course, is nausea. And nothing causes nausea like really bad, outdated experiences. Just ask Harry here.
Using bad service management day in and day out made me so nauseous. Even thinking about... Oh, anyone got a bucket? Guys, make a path. Oh, not the shawarma. Oh. Okay, I can do this. I think it passed. Use...
Hang in there, Harry. Now, if you or your fellow teammates don't want to end up like Harry back there, you really have to think about great experiences for your organization. And for your service management solution, that really starts with the portal. It's really the one place where everyone goes to make their asks. And the best way to make your portal awesome is to make it work, look, and feel exactly like all your other awesome digital assets you already have. We've taken the first step to help you do this by allowing you to use a custom domain for your portal. So every employee can now go to and exactly remember which site to go to get help. But of course, looks really matter here as well. With Jira Service Management today, you can already do things like change the page title, add logos, change the banner images, add announcements, customize login messages, lots of things to really make it look and feel like yours. But as your organization grows, what we see happen a lot is that you have more and more service desks, getting to the point where the experience of trying to find what you need become really, really overwhelming. So how can you tame that sprawl? Well, I'm glad to announce the Topics feature in Jira Service Management, which allows you to bring together a variety of information unified under a single topic. So in this example here, you can bring together everything your new hire needs to get started. Knowledge base articles from Confluence, actions in Workday, YouTube videos, and of course, any request forms that they may need in Jira Service Management. I know these capabilities are going to make a huge difference for many of our customers. But having spent time with many of you, I also know that you want to go even further, to customize even more. Let me now show you a sneak peek of what we are doing in our upcoming releases. We are building a fully configurable portal that allows complete customization of the layout, the look, and the feel. With just a few clicks, you will be able to create a help center that is 100% bespoke to your organization. So you can really create some delightful experiences for your customers and make it really easy for anyone to get help. And the best part about all this, you don't need to write a single line of code to make these changes. So I've just covered some amazing ways that we have and continue to improve our portal. But as we think about delivering great experiences, we think, hey, could we actually take that great experience into the tools that your customers are already using every day? And more often than not, it's where you're having those conversations in your chat tools, like Slack or Microsoft Teams. And that's why we've invested heavily in seamlessly integrating Jira Service Management with these tools. In fact, we've recently announced that we're giving away these capabilities in the free plan of our product. So every single customer of Jira Service Management has access to these capabilities. I think it's the best way for any team in any organization to get started and deliver great service. What this means for your employees is that they never actually need to leave Slack or Teams again to ask for help. Meanwhile, every conversation that they're having with these agents will still automatically get converted into Jira Service Management tickets. For agents, it means they can still work inside the Jira Service Management queue, so there's no need to hop in and out of your messaging tools in order to have that conversation with your customer. This also means they can still use all the features that they rely on every day, like knowledge bases, canned responses, SLAs. But we didn't stop there. Now, when you think about nausea-inducing support experiences, nothing quite beats having to wait around for hours, maybe overnight, for the next available agent. At the same time, we also know that it's not quite feasible nor practical to have your support agents online 24/7, ready to respond to every question. This brings me to our virtual agents built on top of Atlassian intelligence. Your 24/7, infinitely scalable, friendly teammate. You've all heard Mike just a little bit earlier talk about Atlassian intelligence, and I can't contain my excitement about this coming to our products later this year. We've integrated ChatGPT with our virtual agents, which has really opened up a whole new set of possibilities on what it can really mean for your service desks. Well, how does it help? Let's take an example here, right? So we have an employee asking about how they can connect to the office network. Our virtual agent will use ChatGPT to actually get answers for you in a pretty concise way. And the knowledge is actually pulled from things within your organization. Knowledge-based articles, FAQs, onboarding guides. So this isn't random drivel from the internet. In this case, it knows exactly which client your organization should be using for VPNs. And it knows the server address, so your employee is done. And this isn't even limited to IT problems. You can also tackle for requests from other departments like HR. In this case, we're able to figure out quick policy answers from your employee policy documents. Facilities, finance, legal, marketing, pretty much any team can now instantly scale their support using our virtual agent. But we know that scaling isn't just about giving some straight answers that are textual responses from knowledge-based articles. To truly scale, you also need to think about taking actions. Think about requests like, I need a new laptop, or I need access to a new system. To tackle these, you typically have to go to the end customer, get some information from them, and then do something about it. Let's see how our virtual agent helps here. Now, in this example, you're asking for access to a bike locker, very common these days as more of us travel to work by bike. Now, the virtual agents will immediately ask you a set of questions to really help filter down what you really need. In this case, figuring out which city you're in, and then which office location you're actually working from. And you can quickly figure out which bike locker you really need access to. And just like that, you would be able to provide access to your customer. So no agent is actually involved at all. This whole process is fully automated. And the best part about all this is that it's actually defined by you. This whole workflow is defined by you using a simple no-code interface. Now, I've seen some other virtual agents out there which really required you to do a lot of setup. Well, ours is different. We allow you to self-serve so you can actually get up and running very, very quickly in a matter of hours, not days, weeks, or months. We think this is a game changer, and we've already been using it in anger inside Atlassian now for the last couple of months, and the results have been really, really positive. Our support teams tell us that we've saved over 1,000 hours of work, and that we've assisted with over 50% of all requests coming into our service desks. Look, we're still in early access right now, with plans to make it available, generally available later this year. Now, if you're excited as I am about this, I encourage all of you to sign up for our early access program and help us shape this really exciting technology. Now, what's really cool with Atlassian Intelligence is that it just doesn't stop with virtual agents. Like any other awesome rockstar teammates that you have, it usually does more than one thing. So in addition to being your concierge and helping you automate all actions, it can also help with your agents in their everyday work. So let's go through another example of how they do this, right? Your agents these days need to deal with some pretty complex, long-running incidents, which may require a globally distributed team to work around the clock in order to resolve. Now, for any incoming team that needs to figure out what's happened so far, that's actually quite a daunting task. It's like they need to go through a really long thread just to figure out what's happened to the incident. With Atlassian Intelligence, you can now summarize all this at the click of a button, so you get really seamless handoffs between teams. This, of course, saves time for your teams during handoffs, but more importantly, it prevents any miscommunication that happens between these teams, which will ultimately slow you down or block you from finding the right resolution. I think this example here is just the tip of the iceberg, and I invite all of you here to share your ideas on how we can extend Atlassian Intelligence to help you deliver amazing service. So I've stepped through all the cool things that we're doing to give your agents and your employee an awesome experience, so you could really say goodbye to those nauseating experiences for good. Now for the last and probably most horrible of outcomes of bad service management, and death, it's really a dire outcome here. Let's hear from a BSM sufferer on what they have to say about this outcome.
Our last ITSM solution had us so paralyzed, some users would fake a death in the family to gain sympathy and try to get expedited service. I'd like to let Grandma out of the basement, but everyone at work thinks she's dead. Sorry, Grandma.
Poor Grandma. Well, I hope someone lets you out soon. Now, as your organization grows, you need to feel confident that your vendors can grow with you and flourish with you. We get it, which is why we've been working tirelessly to ensure that Jira Service Management supports all your organization needs as you scale your use with us. Starting with the support for 10,000 agents, which we've recently announced earlier this year, I'm thrilled to announce that we're doubling that number, already available in early access support for 20,000 agents. Coming soon, you can also extend our database to support 3 million assets and configuration items. That's a lot of objects. But I know scaling isn't just about big numbers. We know we've got to help you meet your operational and compliance needs as well. We now have data residency support for US, EU, Australia, and Germany, and we continue to expand our support to other regions as well. We've also expanded our support for regulations like HIPAA, BaFin, EBA, with FedRAMP also in the works. We're also adding SAML SSO support, as well as custom domains for your Help Center, which we've talked about earlier, to really help you get a more seamless login user experience. And lastly, we'll be introducing BYOK as well as improved audit logs to really help with compliance and control. So as you can see, we're really doubling down on building a product that you can trust to really help you take service management wall to wall in your organization. So to recap, I've just stepped through all the things that we're doing to help you go from migraines to fast, seamless setups, from nauseating experiences to delightful, intelligent experiences, and from paralysis and death to scaling, flourishing service management deployments. I just want to say to all of you BSM sufferers back there and all around the world that we hear you. We feel your pain. At Atlassian, we're on a mission to build something awesome, something that helps every service team get healthy and happy. We believe we've created a solution that truly brings development, I&O, and business teams together like no others can. Join us now and end bad service management. From Amita and myself, thanks for tuning in today and enjoy the rest of your conference. Thank you.